Hey guys, Curious here. You know, every once in a while, I'll find something that strays outside my political compass. And my political compass. Basically, it's economically progressive, socially conservative in a libertarian way. In other words, I'm actually for minimal government, for real. But anyway, you know, um, I read something about this bill that they have, or this law that they've created now, where every pool anywhere of any business, uh, mostly hotels, but also other things like spas, resorts, anything that has public access for a pool in a commercial business open to the public has to have a permanent wheelchair accessible self controlling um, chair for disabled people to go in the water. Now, I would be okay in a resource rich society, especially one that had alternative energy where we would have the kind of access to an infrastructure that would be able to cope with something like that. But what I'm afraid of, and another way that to look at it, is I'm also an advocate for small business and individualism in people owning their own property. I consider that a social conservative thing. But nevertheless, it's like, it has an economic issue to it. And I don't believe that it's actually fair to have that happen because it'll have a economic deterrent to anyone keeping a pool. It's kind of like gentrification where a rich person goes into a poor neighborhood and remodels things and forces the lower income people out. Except that this is more like a business side of that. Because there's a number of small business hotels that historically are well run and nice, but they're older architecture. And that will cause that to either be skyrocketed or just demolished. And I think that's a shame. Of course, there's a lot of rat trap hotels that friggin' have crappy pools that no one swims in anyway. So that's another thing. I mean, there was a street one time where, on another side of my town, where you could go and the first thing you saw was cheap hotel, cheap hotel, cheap hotel, cheap hotel. And there was no doubt why these hotels were there. They were the main, they were the main frigging business of this part of the frigging small divided part of the city. And they were there for frigging hookups and frigging knockoffs, call it like you see it, you come to the friggin' well, I guess, I don't know how to say. I'm supposed to be pro-sex, but I was just looking at that like, well, that was before I was so much pro-sex, and I was like, okay, we know what's up with that, friggin' the swank lane, I don't know, that's another issue I didn't think about when I started this video, but yeah, I mean, you know what it was. In any case, I think well, I don't know now. But no, but for small businesses, I think it's fair that when they're running a individualist establishment, that they not be just wiped out unfairly. I don't think the chairs need to be permanent because sometimes in an article at least they said that they only use them about 4 times a year and someone can go out and set them up. And another problem is that if they're permanent and self-using, they're danger to children, they're dangerous to being stolen to be resold because it would create a black market like thing because they're so expensive. They're like $10,000. And generally from abuse from people who don't use them, need them. Like drunks and just general other people just wanting to friggin' sit down in a chair and use it. Causes wear and tear. So there'll always be somebody out there, costing more money on the long run either. That's also a friggin' butt on the nose of frigging a small business. You've seen those kind of hotels that lose business because they have those over-regulated rules about their frigging pools. Well, mostly because somebody did something stupid and friggin' hurt themselves. Or it's badly maintained and they've just, they just basically close the service down because it's just there for show. And that's not right either. But in any case, yeah. I don't think this rule is a very good one. I think they could just make it for the customer and have it helped, Or, but I could see friggin' being a disabled person in a pool and wanting to get out when you want to get out without having to wave somebody down. So I could see it where it doesn't have to be permanent, but you should be able to do it by yourself so you can get out when you want. But I still think it's not unreasonable for them to call it, hey, come put my chair out, or put it out at friggin' 3 because I'm going to go out there, without a big hassle. I mean, in any case, I think that's more reasonable. What do you think? Let me know. Alright. Oh, and I went back to friggin' 240. I hate 240, but for long videos, instead of just putting up a picture and just yapping behind the picture, because I have to friggin' re-edit it and everything, I just decided to do the 240 because if I'm gonna friggin' show something anyway to try to save friggin' try to save friggin' upload times because my friggin' internet's been screwy, for about 3 months now. I don't know. I heard one video I've blogged to. I've heard one thing about my provider online. I read online that might be some kind of scam to get you out there and buy new stuff and get their services, and they're sitting there hitting the off switch every friggin' 6 to friggin' 12. I don't know. Kind of hokey if you ask me. But anyway, yeah, so that's why I'm doing it 240. I just noticed that when it was at 360 and the thing went off, I had this problem. You could just shoot down to 240 and stuff, but with 240, you have to friggin' go to another video, So I'm really sorry about that, but, what can I do, too? You know what I mean? 240's crap, but it's so easy to friggin' load when you're doing long videos. Because then I do 640 by 480 and it gets up to like 100 megabytes and stuff, or 80 megabytes, and that takes like friggin' an hour and a half, 2 hours. I don't even know how some of you people load friggin' HD. Of course, I got such a crap computer, friggin', it won't even friggin' play HD. 480 or 360, fine, but 720, forget it. It won't. It'll take friggin' 20 minutes to load friggin' 5 minutes of friggin' video, and forget trying to play it in real time. Where friggin' you watch it and it loads faster than you're watching. Forget it. You know what I mean? And then the friggin' internet will go out too. Anyway, I guess that's a bonus video hopped onto this other video. So, what can you do? I could edit it, but I don't want to do that. Okay. Bye.